Right. So here we go. I'm live once again, and guys, this is the link. All right, welcome everyone. This is me once again, and today we're going to talk about the second thing that we had on our list. Uh, I've looked at your forms and you filled up the form, and that's a great thing. In fact, I saw some 13 forms, so almost one third of you have not filled up the form. Uh, Today we're going to have a little conversation. It's not going to be only me talking about, because in last discussion I gave you a brief and everything, how this whole thing works and why choosing a niche is important, and how you can do that, how you can really pinpoint and focus on your target audience and your value propositions. I've looked at the answers, and today I'm going to help you customize your target audience and your brand value proposition, right? Then I'll be taking few questions from you. If you have any questions, you can just let me know in the comment section, and I'll be able to help you out. So let's make it little customized today. Let's make it more personal for your growth. And if you have any questions, definitely would love to have that. Now, first three discussions will be based on how to build focus in your approach and how to build a profile. So the first thing, the previous discussion we had, that was more focused on why you are here on the platform, why you're here on LinkedIn, and what are the two main important questions, the most important questions that you should be asking for yourself. And one is who is your target audience, and who is the second question is what is the brand value proposition that you want to build, and how from whatever you're doing, how you can narrow down that to the fundamental and be as specific as possible. The tool that we discussed was the form, the Google form that I gave you, and I hope that helped you in asking those very important questions to yourself and bringing some clarity, right? So I'll take three examples out of the forms that you filled in. During the like time constraints, we'll not be able to go through every question, but every form rather. But you're most welcome to ask questions. If you have any specific questions, you can let me know right now. But I'll try to pick up these three profiles and make sure that the examples that I'm quoting will help everybody in attending the broadcast right now to ask themselves some questions and fine tune what they're trying to achieve here, right? So let's take this example of Rajesh Srinivasan, right? So Rajesh Srinivasan has, what problems do you solve? And the next question is, for who do you solve these problems? He solved problems for entrepreneurs, small business owners, and marketeers. Now, these are three categories, and when you talk about entrepreneurs and small business owners, they can be combined in one category, but the marketers are absolutely different category altogether. Now you need to understand that a marketer can be somebody who's working as a freelancer. A marketer can be somebody who is working as an employee for some company. Now, if the person is working as an employee for some company, the decision making is absolutely different. The mindset is absolutely different. The job descriptions are different, and the expectation, the challenges, and absolutely everything is different. So, combining these target customers together is going to create problems for you, because then you'll not be able to create a brand value for them. You'll not be able to create content for them because they have different needs, right? A marketer who's working for a company, his main job is to make sure that the company's marketing is handled properly. So your content has to be focused on that, while an entrepreneur or a small business owner has a different priority when the content is concerned. So you need to leave one of them. Okay. Now, if you're talking about that, the entrepreneurs and the small business owners, and they have ton of problems. The problem that you're trying to solve for them is the marketing related problems, right? So if you go, for example, not now, the previous profiles headline that I had, it was very specifically talking about that I help businesses, entrepreneurs in generating lead, in building their brand, and doing the LinkedIn marketing. So there are 15 things that these startups, these entrepreneurs, these small business owners need to do, but this is how I help them. Okay. So the another thing that you're saying, what problems do you solve? You're saying I work with entrepreneurs to increase the revenue and build powerful brands using various marketing strategies. Yeah, so that makes sense. In that sense, if you are trying to get in touch with these business owners and entrepreneurs, I would suggest that you leave the marketers out of your target approach behind, at least for now, and you focus on the entrepreneurs and small business owners. Yeah. So you help entrepreneurs and small business owners in increasing their revenue and build powerful brands using various marketing strategies. Now, let me dissect this whole thing deep down a little bit. And this is for everybody to understand that why this statement in this sentence is still not making a lot of sense. It's not very close and clear to my with me. Okay, let's take an example. I'm a business owner, the one Rajesh is trying to target at the moment. Okay. Now, if you say, if you are going to increase my revenue and build my powerful brand, you need to understand that small business owners and entrepreneurs, they have a perception about that branding is an exercise which is for the big companies, right? Big companies do branding, small businesses don't do branding, because branding takes a lot of time and investment and money, and the results are not tomorrow. Results are going to happen 10 years down the line. Branding is a long-term exercise, and everybody understands that. But I, as a small business owner, I, as an entrepreneur, don't have that much resources. My first priority at the moment in my priority list is to get me more sales. So I would not be that interested if you say you're going to help me build brand. I'm going to be like, yeah, branding is not my priority at the moment. I'm struggling to, make the day-to-day operations smooth for my business. Once I have enough money, once my operations are smooth, once my revenue is fixed, then probably I'll start investing into the brand. And practically also in the initial years of a business, when especially the business is small, the majority of the business is growing and happening because of the personal and one-to-one relationships. It doesn't need a brand. The another question that I would urge you to understand and ask is, what kind of businesses are you trying to work with? If you're trying to work with B2C businesses, then whole story is completely different, and B2B is an absolutely different story altogether. There will be further segregation that you need to do here, that in the B2B segment also, for example, whether you are working with the IT companies, whether we are working with the manufacturing companies, or whether you're going to work with ed tech companies or neutral tech or health or pharma or whatever. Because if your target customer is in a particular industry, the rules of the game are completely different. If you're working with a company which is into B2C, and they provide, and their challenge is, or rather they are selling a product which is a ed tech solution, that their customers most probably be kids. Okay. But then the decision makers for that product will be the parents and the school owners. So when you go and help them, your strategy would involve different kind of approach completely. And those are the questions that are very instinctive in your customer's mind. So when they read you saying that you're going to help them increase their revenue, their mind quickly asks them how and why. And if that line is not very clear, it will not connect with me here. It will not make a lot of sense to me. Okay. Now, in the how part of how you help them increase their revenues and build powerful brands, you say keynote speaking and coaching and consulting. Now, I absolutely don't understand that how you can increase some companies' revenue by doing a keynote speech. We know, business owners, and you also know as a trainer also, that a keynote speech is good for one time pumping up people, but it doesn't result into any tangible results. And certainly, I am, as a business owner, would not like to pay you for any keynote speech. Yeah. Now, when you say coaching and consulting, how do you coach and how do you consult? What is it that you coach? You coach, do you coach the leaders? Do you consult them on strategy? Do you execute them? Or do you conduct training programs? So your ideal headline in your profile summary or your headline would be, you know, that I help entrepreneurs and startups in increasing their revenue by conducting training programs for their leaders, or by doing strategy consulting for them, or by providing trainings for them. That one line has to be very clear about your brand. What do you do? For who do you do it? And why do you do it? What is the end result? Yeah. So you need to be clear on that. Think about it and write more about it. Yeah. Okay. So, and I'll take one more example here out of this profile only. The keywords that you say that you want to be searched for are saying the marketing, branding, business growth, keynote speaker, and business growth, business coach. Now, business coach is a very broad term. I mean, if I'm a founder, I would not search for a business coach. I would probably search for a marketing consultant, probably lead generation consultant. I would search for a trainer, maybe, but I would not search for a business coach. You know what I'm saying? Business coaching has 15 different things that can be done. And if I'm the founder of a company, I'm looking for a particular help. And that is the keyword that I would want to, go for when I'm searching for somebody to help me. I would not search for a business coach, and I definitely would not search for keynote speaker. Now, keynote speaker may be good for a group of students organizing a fest or a program in their college, and they're looking for somebody as a keynote speaker. But it's not something that business owners search every day. Yep. So you need to understand that those keywords are going to be your identity. The other keywords that you have chosen are marketing and branding. As I discussed in the beginning, a small business will not be searching for branding. They don't do branding. They don't feel that branding is important for them. They understand the branding is a long-term thing. Now, branding is something that in your mind is something that you do. You need to think like your customer. What are the activities that they have to do so that their brand becomes good? So that the brand leads them to more business. You need to talk about those 3 4 keywords and then try to address yourself and attach yourself with those 3 4 keywords. I'll give you an example. In Brand Samosa's initial journey, I believe in branding. I believe in small business branding. But I did not brand, or I did not talk about the branding part in the beginning. We talked about LinkedIn. We understood that small businesses need to use LinkedIn more often. And there were like 15 other things that can be done and should be done. But we never wanted to ourselves to be associated with everything else because we don't want to our target audience to be confused about us. So we specifically focused on LinkedIn branding. And that was like, we made sure that if you search for LinkedIn branding or LinkedIn marketing, LinkedIn lead generation, you would find us. We built a base around that. And then slowly we extended our approach. Now we're not just a LinkedIn company, we are more than LinkedIn company, but the LinkedIn still remains at the core of what we do. These are the questions that you need to ask yourself and really fine tune, right? I'm taking a pause to take few questions here if you have any questions. Yeps. So I see there are people joining me. You can let me know the questions in the comment section, and I would be happy to help you. Okay. All right. I'll take this question, but then look, this is a very classical situation wherein a lot of people get entrapped into this particular situation. That we have two things in our mind and we want to go for both. Now, unless these two things are closely related, you definitely have a problem. And the way that you can fix that problem is simple. What you need to do is you need to prioritize. Okay, you need to tell yourself in your mind very clearly that for next 6 months I'm going to go after this brand and this target audience, and then once I'm done with that at a reasonable pace, then I can move on to different target audience. So I'll give you my example. During the year of 2018, I was building Nexel, and I wanted to get in touch with the entrepreneurs and startup people. So my entire headline would say, I'm empowering entrepreneurs, I'm helping young entrepreneurs by doing certain things, right? My content would be accordingly, my profile would be just optimized accordingly, and my engagement would there. I would search for certain people and I would go after, I would engage with them. The entire focus was with those people. Now once I built a sizable amount of founders in my network, the next thing that I wanted to do was that find out and get in touch with investors so that investors can help them with the funding, because majority of the thing that founders or young entrepreneurs would want, apart from the services and skills and mindset, they would want investment. So I wanted to get in touch with investors, and that's where I shifted a little bit with my profile, and I started engaging and approaching and going after and targeting the investors. That happened for next 6 months, and because of that I went to UAE also. That also happened through LinkedIn. uh, that, once that whole thing was done, then I built, okay, how I can empower and how I can help these founders and young entrepreneurs. And in that I found out that there is one thing that I'm really good at. My skills and everything is about branding and marketing. So my entire focus moved into that. Now my profile headline and profile summary was saying that I'm helping startups and entrepreneurs in building their brand, generating their leads, and doing the B2B marketing on LinkedIn. So anybody who would come now, they would see that, right? That headline. So you have to make sure that every 6 months you have to make in your mind that this is what I'm going to do. At the moment, in one time, you cannot have two different target audiences, two different brands, two different approaches, and two different things. And that's a problem, right? That's a big problem. And it doesn't work that ways. You're always going to be confused, and your target audience is going to be confused. Yep. Yeah, wonderful. So, whatever the questions that you have right now, I mean, after the discussion, I hope this is helping you in a way. And what I would want you to go back to that form again and like write it for yourself once again. See, people, what I'm discussing here is that the form that you're filling, that format that I gave, is for you. Okay, you need to ask those questions to yourself again and again and again, and so that you can fine tune your entire approach. And as I said in the previous broadcast, that there will be no permanent thing. You can change it, but you need to begin with from as clear or as niche as possible. Okay. I'll be targeting decision makers from digital payments or education sector. Okay, so I'll come to the next profile now, and this says that I help brands, businesses, and individuals through marketing and personal branding. Brands, businesses, and individuals. Now, how are the brands and businesses are different, Deepthi? This is something which you need to ask yourself. In your mind, they may be different, but you need to write it so that they understand it, right? A business owner considers himself as a brand or a business. That is something that you need to understand. And by individuals, what do you mean by individuals? Are these the CXOs of some certain companies? Are these professionals working for some other companies? These are the service providers or the students? Because in individual, there are so many people. You see, you need to understand that when I'm searching about this and I find individuals, you need to write it in a way that I can identify it. I do not find with define myself as an individual. I define myself either as an entrepreneur, as a business person, as a CXO, or as a student, right? That's what you need to ask yourself. This is too broad once again. The second thing is, for who do you solve these problems? I help brands, businesses. Okay, for who do you solve these problems? Brands and personal individuals. Still very broad, very, very broad. How do you solve these problems? Like, one, you have not defined the problems. You have written, I help brands, businesses, individuals through marketing and personal branding. That's not a problem that you're solving for them. Problem is what will happen when you do the personal branding for them. How is it going to help them? That is the problem that you're solving. Or why should they have a personal brand? What is it that is the end result of it? What it leads to? When I build a personal brand, when I do the marketing, what it leads to? Does it make me more famous? Does it make me more rich? I mean, richer? Does it make me more like healthier? What is the end result of what you do? That is the problem that you're trying to solve. Okay, think in that terms. Digital strategy and marketing, very broad. Once again, I'm saying this is not going to help anyways. Okay, so co-founded and managed a full service digital marketing agency for 7 years. Wow. Worked with high profile clients throughout my career, won digital awards for some of the campaigns. That's a brilliant career achievement that you have. The problem is that your approach in terms of uh, how your LinkedIn profile should look like, you need to be more specific in that, right? You need to go deep, not the broad thing. Remember that. The keywords that you want to be search for: digital marketing expert, personal branding consultant, and digital marketing consultant. Okay, look, digital marketing is a very broad term nowadays. It's a very broad term. Anything and everything that happens with marketing comes under digital marketing now. There is no other way of marketing that is happening today. Everything is digital. So you need to be competing against the competition that you have, and for that you need to differentiate what is it that you do specifically within the digital marketing domain. Do you do B2C lead generation? Do you do B2B? Do you do SEO and website optimizations? Do you do Facebook paid campaigns? Do you do strategy of it, right? Do you do the content marketing or the email marketing? There are 7 8 different aspects of a digital marketing world, or marketing rather. You need to tell yourself that I would dominate these two and I would leave everything else. At the moment, the challenge with all of the profiles that I'm looking here is I'm only finding that you're trying to cover a lot of things, and that doesn't work. That never works for anybody. Okay, so there's there's another question which is there, Kshitij. Okay, I'll take Kshitij's profile and let's talk about that. Please keep asking me questions. If you have any specific question, I would love to address those questions. Abdul Ghani. Oh my God. Oh my God. Abdul Ghani, my friend. What problems do you solve? You've written customer service and sales. I do not understand anything out of that. You need to write this in detail. And remember, folks, these are the things that you're writing for yourself. I'm repeating these things again and again. And when I'm talking to somebody else, you are in fact smart enough to pick up from there and do it for yourself. These questions are for you to have a clarity about your brand, about your service, about your niche, so that you can translate that into words, because your target customer are going to read words, and those words need to mean something for them. And unless you ask these tough questions for yourself, you'll not be able to focus and be clear about it and translate what you do into real hardcore words, and it will not make any sense to anyone. For example, for who do you solve these problems? The answer is customer. No, nobody calls themselves customers. You see, I don't call myself a customer. I may be a customer for you, so you're calling me a customer, but I'm not calling myself a customer. So you need to tell me, who am I? You need to write, I am doing something something for small businesses or small business owners. How you are doing it? By providing good customer service and sales. There's no definition of good customer service or good service and talking. There is no definition of it, right? And what are the keywords that you want to be searched for? You want to be searched for wow, sales experts. You need to go deeper in that sense. What is it that you do in the sales domain to help the target customers, and who are these target customers, and where are you going to find them, right? Kshitij. Okay, hey Kshitij. We are a creative agency providing solution to the companies. What kind of solution, my friend? And what is a creative agency? And the question is not about who you are. The question is, what problems do you solve? You're a creative agency, but what do you do? Now you can say, we do the creative designs. No, but that is not what you do. And I don't care what you do as a customer. I care how what you do can help me. Right? So write that in that language wherein you are talking to me and I'm your target customer, and tell me, how can you help me? What is the problem in my life that you can solve for me? Yeah. And then the question was, for who do you solve these problems? The answer is focused in digital payments and education. Absolutely not making any sense. Yeah. How do you solve these problems? Write awareness through various media platform. Absolutely doesn't make sense. You need to be as clear as possible. And unless you're going through this difficult task for yourself, this is not going to help anyone. Now, we in Brand Samosa do a lot of work wherein we do it for you, right? But then when we do it for you, we're going to ask you those questions. We're going to like grill you, in fact, to give you clarity, so that we can translate that clarity into words, because words are the something that customers understand. Yep. Okay, then the word that you say you want to be searched for, the keywords are co-founders. Okay, if you're a creative agency, your target customers are going to be other founders. And why other founders would find for co-founder? Why would I, as a founder of a company, would find for a co-founder? It just doesn't make sense, right? In that sense, why do you want to be searched for co-founders? That keyword, it doesn't make sense. You getting what I'm saying? Then another question is, you want to be searched for brand manager. Why brand manager? Because you need to understand that if you are a creative agency, and if I'm your target customer, and if I'm a founder or CEO of a company, I would go for very specific words, that somebody who can help us strategize the communication, or maybe the video, or maybe generate more leads for us. You need to be niche, you need to be specific, you need to be detailed. I'm not going to go find or go look for co-founders. Okay. Yep. Cool. Let me check if there are questions here. Okay, I guess you got that right. uh, I have gone through all the forms here, and guys, this is the basic observation that I have, that you need to ask yourself as many questions as possible. Now, I here cannot answer the question for you, that who is your target customer. I also cannot answer the question for you, that what services or what brand value proposition that you are going to provide. I can guide you, I can give you a framework. You can ask me individual questions separately in the group itself, wherein I'll be able to suggest that you can target these people. But whatever I've discussed in previous broadcast and whatever I've discussed today's broadcast, this is going to be the framework. Use that as a template, use that as a framework to really focus and push yourself to leave everything which is absolutely not important at the moment, and focus on one or two keywords, focus on one or two target customers, and go after them. Right? You need to build brand value proposition. You need to build your niche identity. Right? You need to build a fundamental, a pillar for your brand, and that expertise that you should be known for can be one or at max two in the beginning. You build yourself around that, and then you can move on to others. You cannot start everything together. So for example, I'll take one more example from the whole thing. This is Nitin, yeah, Nitin Chavaria. And so what problems do you solve? The question is, and the answer is helping advertising, creative, digital agencies and startups and smart SMEs and corporates. My God. So agencies, startups, SMEs, corporates, it's a huge list, my friend. Break it down, break it down. Go for two people at the moment, two target customers at the moment, then go for somebody else later on. SMEs and corporates, help them go online by developing websites, web apps, mobile apps. And then also we do search engine optimization for enhancing their digital search presence. You do four different things. But this is what you do. How does it help them? What is the end result? Everything. Like how SEO is going to help them. Is it going to help them get more customers? Is it going to help them increase their ticket size? Is it going to help them grow their team, grow their business? What? That the end result. You talk about end result. That is the problem. You're solving a growth problem for them. You're solving a revenue problem for them. You're solving a money problem for them. What you've written is what you do. But how is this going to help them is a separate question. That is what I'm asking here. That is what you need to ask yourself. That is what your customers want to listen. Yeah. For who do you solve these problems? SMEs, advertising, creative, digital agencies, and startups. You're talking about almost everybody. Need to break it down to something less. How? Understanding the client's businesses, suggesting solutions which are helpful for him, her business to grow and enhance any process which they are doing manually. My God, that's too complicated. You need to write more, you need to explain more, then only I'll be able to help you. Now, I would be ending the broadcast now. And in totality, all I can say after all this discussion is that what you need at the moment is really push yourself and bring in more clarity in what you are trying to do. Now, you have the link with you. You may want to go back to the link again and explain yourself more. Let it come out of your mind and be exactly what you're. Right now I think most of you have been lazy, or maybe you're thinking that what you're saying is something that your customers also understand. Unfortunately, they don't. You need to talk in their language and you need to use their words, and that is what they understand. And it's not about you, it's not about what you do, it's not about how you do it, it's about how what you do that can help them. It's about how and what problems can be solved for your customers. Okay, I'll be sharing one more video with you about the same thing, but I'll be doing that after you've filled up the forms once again. So fill up the form, let me know, and if there's any question, because now is the time wherein the entire program is becoming and will be becoming more customized. So let me know what specific questions that you have for me in the group itself, or maybe you can send me a separate message. Hope you found it useful, and I see you once again tomorrow. Bye bye.